Hey, it's Kim Calvert, and I am back with another lesson here on our YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying what we have so far. And today what I want to teach you is a little lesson around you don't have to be smart to be successful. So, what does that mean? I know I was taught growing up, maybe possibly you were, you've got to be really smart, you got to get a good education if you ever want to have success and earn good money in your life. And I know I fell into that trap, and I went and I got a great education and I got a job, but ultimately I didn't really have the freedom that I truly desired. And now when I study this material and work with my mentor, Bob Proctor, I've been able to really understand what actually is it that creates success. And it's not actually knowledge. Now, we hear quite often that knowledge is power, gotta read all the books. You know, I often see on social media and different places where it's like, read a book every day for a year. My advice is don't, okay? And I'll tell you why. Because you're gathering more information, but are you applying the information? There's a big difference. And especially now when the world is rapidly changing, there's so much out there, it's quite noisy. You could get wrapped up with gathering all this information, but not really doing anything with it. In fact, you probably know somebody that is really smart, has lots of degrees, has lots of pieces of paper, but they're not having the results that they really want in life. Now, I'm a big believer in, yes, I mean, education is great, it has its place. If you want to be a doctor, you gotta go get your education, but I do not buy in that you have to be, or you only are successful if you're smart. Now, I can very easily put my hand up and go, I have proved it, because I'm dyslexic, I'm rubbish at maths. In fact, I was reading a book yesterday that said Einstein failed math. And it was the greatest thing I read because I'm hopeless at math, right? But yet I run multiple companies at multiple seven figures. So that's really not what, on paper, in fact, I don't have that many pieces of paper, but on paper, I really shouldn't have been a success. But I do live a successful life. And I want to help you because I know there's probably people out there, young people out there, older people out there, and you're maybe not stepping out and going for what you really want because you just simply think you're not smart enough, or you're not good enough, or you don't know enough. And I really want to put an end to that. I want to give you hope that then you can crystallize that into belief, because that is then going to hand you back faith, and you're going to be able to go and succeed in life. Now, one of the books that I'm always studying is Think and Grow Rich. I'm sure you've possibly heard of it if you're in the personal development industry. If you're not, I would highly recommend going and purchasing this book, okay? I don't get paid for saying that, but it's a phenomenal book that has so many lessons in it. Now, that sounds a little bit contradictory. Don't read books, but go buy this book. And I'll explain that, because there's really only, probably I could put them all in one hand, the amount of books that I've actually read in my life. And I'm going to be super honest, I had never read a book in my life until 6 years ago. Now, I'm 34, and there, most people have read books. I was not the bookworm. I was not the person that jumped up and down going to school. I loved PE, I loved the socializing, but when it came to work, I just kind of really didn't gel to it. Now, that doesn't mean that has to be you. But this book, and why I only read a few books over and over and over again, is because I've started to learn that it's not the amount or the quantity that we read, but it's the quality. And it's about learning fundamental, universal success principles and learning how to apply them to your life. And then suddenly all the success starts to come. Now, I want to kind of teach you a little bit around this. And actually it comes from Henry Ford. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of Henry Ford, but he's the guy that really sparked the Model T, the first car. And he, of course, has started the Ford motor industry. And Ford actually had no education. In fact, if you actually look at most successful people, they don't have education. They don't have the pieces of paper. What they did have and what they do have is a burning desire. Now that's a critical component to success. But Henry Ford and what Napoleon Hill, he studied Henry Ford and studied 500 of the most successful people. He started to study these people to find out what is that golden thread that is running, like what's the common denominator here? And he says here that an educated man is not necessarily one who has an abundance of generalized or specialized knowledge. An educated man is one who has so developed the faculties of his mind that he may acquire anything he wants. Now think about that. Do you understand that? I didn't. But it says it's not about the general knowledge or even the specialized knowledge. It's about actually creating and developing your mindset. That's what brings about success. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, oh, well, that sounds good. I like the sound of that. But what are the faculties of the mind? I don't understand that. Now, I came and I've come from a psychiatric background, mental health background, and dealing with mind psychology and the impacts that has on your behavior. But I'd never heard the information that my mentor, Bob, taught me, looking at perception, the will, reason, memory, intuition. Like intuition is it's one of my favorite higher mental faculties, and you have it. In fact, it's your intuition that's probably guided you to this video today. In fact, your intuition is working all of the time and is quietly, it's like a little missile, quietly guiding you to where you want to go or where you should go to achieve your goals. But the problem is, it's very hard to hear the little voice within when there's so much noise without. And I want you to take a moment, maybe today or this week, and really ask yourself, what is it that's holding me back from my success? What is it that I'm allowing to stay in between me and everything that I could have? Because see, the truth is, you probably don't even know what is capable for you. In fact, you have infinite potential within. And it might take a wee while to understand that and to really grasp that and run with it. But just feel what you're feeling right now. I think you're probably connecting and thinking, yeah, I do want a wee bit more. I feel like I have more potential. And that's all that you need. That little tiny seedling can just expand into something greater. Knowledge will not attract money unless it is organized and intelligently directed through practical plans of action to a definite end of accumulation of money. Now, you might be thinking, well, Kim, I wasn't really thinking about money, but ultimately, whatever the success, whatever the goal, whatever the aim that you have, is you've got to realize that it's not just knowledge. Knowledge is only potential power. You've got to learn how to actually organize the knowledge and intelligently direct it through plans of action. So what I'm trying to say is, what is your goal and do you have a plan to achieve it? Don't worry about the how, don't worry about can I or will I, because that was the thing with Henry Ford. Henry Ford was really an expert at one thing, and that was creating cars. But he didn't know all the other parts of a business that he needed to know. And in fact, they actually took him to court way back many years ago. And they took him to court because they said, how could such an uneducated man come out and create the Model T? And he actually said in the courthouse, I don't need to know everything. I have a little panel of buttons that when I hit a button, I have somebody who's specialized in that area who helps me. And this was really the mastermind principle, having people around you that specialize in areas that you don't. So take me for an instance. I am useless at maths and I put my hands up to it, and you know what? I'm okay with that because I know how to earn money, I know how to help people, and I live a very happy life. But you can't really run a successful business if you don't have somebody looking after the finances. So in my life, when I started to think about becoming an entrepreneur and starting my own business, one of the doubts and worries that I had was, am I gonna know what to do? I came from a nursing background. I did not have a business. I did not have a business degree. Nothing, no pieces of paper, okay? And that can put a lot of fear, doubt, and worry. But I had studied this material. I started to study the science and the mindset of the most successful people, and it started to change how I would think. So I started to attract the people, the things, the money, the resources that I needed to now have a multi-seven-figure business. And I believe that you can do that as well. The only thing that you need to possess is a goal and a desire. Now, it says here that you've got to have it intelligently directed through plans of action. Well, this is something that, again, I feel a lot of people struggle with. You know what you want, but you don't maybe know the steps in which to take. And this is ultimately why you probably should get a mentor in your life, whether that's me, whether that's somebody else. Why not borrow someone else's knowledge and experience and take it for your own? Adapt it, change it. I'm not saying copy people. I think that's definitely not the way to go. You're so unique. But you can definitely learn. You can definitely learn from people who have been where you want to go and see what has worked for them. Likewise, also see what didn't work for them. Like, I have failed my way to success. I believe everybody does. I have failed. There's been times things haven't went right. There's been times where I've been so certain and for whatever reason it hasn't. But the key is, I now don't see that as failure. I now see that as course correction. I see that as my intuition showing me there's a better way, there's an easier way. Now, not everybody thinks like that. Sometimes when something goes really wrong, oh my goodness, everything kind of just falls apart and we just kind of fall into this little spiral of negative thinking. And that's a habit. That you didn't ask for that, you didn't want that, but yet it may have happened in your life. So we've got to ask yourself, how is that happening? Why is that happening? And how do I stop it? And ultimately, that is your thinking pattern. That is what we call your paradigm. It's a collection of habits, it's a collection of beliefs, and it is kind of taking you through life. Now, if you're working on autopilot every day and these habits and these beliefs that you've gathered from, childhood and upwards, if that's what's ruling your life, then you're going to have to realize that that's always going to give you more of the same. If you have a goal, if you have a desire that you want to attain, if you have a certain amount of income that you'd love to earn, then you've got to start to realize we've got to get to the root cause. I've got to have the habits and the beliefs of somebody that is earning this. You're never going to achieve your goals if you maintain the same habits and beliefs that have created the results that you currently have. So the key here is you got to know what you want. You've got to realize that you don't have to actually be that smart. You just need to attract everything that you require. And to enable you to attract the people that you need, you've got to think about it. You've got to have a plan. Now, that's something that I help people with. I help people reverse engineer from their goal. You see, we do everything very differently. We're very illogical. And that's why we get such incredible success for our clients, because we don't do the norm. We don't do business plans. We don't do SMART goals. We kind of do the opposite to what 97% of the population do. And that's what keeps us in that 3%. And I believe that you can go there. But you got to have a plan, and you got to start from the end, not from where you are. Now, you need to know where you are, and you do that by looking at, okay, well, what am I currently earning? What am I currently thinking? What are my current habits? You got to know that to go to where you want to go. But then ultimately, you've got to think. You've got to go to that place. You've got to see yourself with the money. You've got to see yourself and who do you have to become to achieve that. Now, once you go there, then I'm able to show you, okay, how do we reverse engineer out of this? What steps did you take to get there? And what we do is we break that down into a plan, and then you execute the plan. Now, you're not going to be able to do that straight off this YouTube video, but what I want this video to really inspire you to realize is you don't need to know how you're going to achieve your goal. You just need to know you're going to achieve your goal. Like when I started out 5.5 years ago, I had no idea how I was going to achieve what I wanted to achieve. I was so young and innocent. I had just quit my job in nursing. I was running around literally the hospital going, I'm going to create a multi-million-pound company. I'm going to be Bob Proctor's #1 in the world. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And everybody just kind of went, okay, is she away yet? And because people thought I was nuts. Sometimes people still think I'm nuts, but I'm okay with that because I've got results. And results leave clues. So all I'm asking you today is to take some time out and forget about the how. The strategies, the how, the when, the where, where's the money going to come from, all that stuff. Just put it all over there. That's only 5% of what creates your results. And I want you to sit and just think and ask yourself, what will it be like when I achieve it? What would I really love to have show up in my life? And if you can start to entertain those thoughts, what that will do is that will actually stimulate a feeling, which is called a vibration. That's the energy in which your body is operating at. And when you start to align your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, you're going to start to see opportunities show up. You're going to start to create the people that you require. Like, I now have an incredible team. In fact, I have another company that's a Dynamite Digital, which deals with all the digital stuff of this world. And that's about as much as I know about it. But it's my company, and we excel at it. And we serve people through simple solutions online. You don't need all this noisy stuff that's complicated. But how did I create a company when I don't have a tech degree? Well, I did it because I attracted the people that did have that specialized knowledge. And then I focus on being a leader. I focus on what I'm specialized at, and that's being a mentor. That's the only thing that I am specialized at. It's the only thing I want to be specialized at. So I want you to think, what do you want to specialize in? What gifts have you got still inside of you that you know you want to share with other people? I truly feel the ultimate way to have a successful business is to love what you do and to make sure that you're serving your clients, serving other people. There is no greater joy than that. But I don't want you to be held back in starting that goal, creating that dream, building that business because you think you don't have a piece of paper. I am telling you now, it is not about that. It's about what goes on inside. It's about the 95% mindset. So I want you to continue to watch these videos. Come and join us in different live events that we have on, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much potential within you. And I want to finally put all of those doubts, fears, and worries to bed. Now, I don't believe that we live in a world where there's no fear. As I said, I failed before. But I feel that failing is a necessary part. And you only really fail when you quit, when you give up. So today, ask yourself, what do you feel is stopping you? What if we could get rid of that? What could you possibly do? What could you possibly bring to this world? What can you leave behind as your legacy? And even if it's not some big, amazing goal that's, I'm not saying you want to be a celebrity, but there's probably people in your life that you want to provide for, that you want to help. And I believe it starts with you. I don't believe that anybody can help anybody else until they've helped themselves. You can't give what you haven't got. And that was something that I really learned even as a nurse back in the day. I can't be the best that I can be if I'm not the best. So forget about the stuff, the paper. Don't go back and get another degree. Don't, in these times, these changing times, I think it's pretty obvious that we need to have different pieces of paper. We need to have a good attitude. We need to understand how to think for solutions, problem solving. We need to be able to lead. We need to be able to be resilient. These are the things that are going to help you succeed in the years to come, not algebra, okay? So take this video and find some hope in it, because I know, because I've worked with a lot of people who limit themselves because they just don't think they're good enough. And I'm here to tell you, you are. And you can get better every day if you make it a decision. Personal development is about you developing you. It's personal. So take this time and think. Don't ask other people. Don't ask other opinions. Think, what is it that you want? And if you're interested, reach out to us. We'll help you reverse engineer that plan. We'll give you more guidance. We'll give you resources to support you. And whatever it is that you want, hold it in the mind and you'll hold it in your hand. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please continue to click subscribe, hit the notification button, and we'll be sure to bring lots more content and value to you across this next year. Thank you.